What's going on, you guys? We got another tips and tricks video for you guys. Now, my last tips and tricks video did really well. I gave you guys 4 tips to get to 400 feet, or 4 tips that helped me get to 400 feet. So I hope some of those tips helped you out. We're gonna do another one of those videos today. This one is going to be 3 tips on how to get to 300 feet. I've had a lot of people in my comments tell me that they struggle to get to 300 feet, and I know that is kind of like one of the first milestones that a lot of people want to get to. You step up to a 300-foot hole and you just know you're not even going to be able to make it. So, you know, I've been there. I think everybody's been there when they first started playing. So I'm hoping that I can make this video for you guys to help you break through that goal there. So yeah, we're out here. We're going to be throwing out this empty field. This is going to be a new course that's coming into town. It's going to be a new 18-hole course out here in Cantonment, Florida, just outside of Pensacola, right next to the International Paper Mill. Or the International Paper Company, rather. But yeah, I'm going to utilize this park for a little while there's nobody playing disc golf out here yet, really. They do have tee pads down, but they do not have any baskets or anything yet. Yeah, we're going to use this thing. It's just kind of like an open field with tee pads. So the first tip I have for you guys is probably something that you've heard a lot. It's one of the most important things that you can fix to get you to that next step, and it's going to be rounding. Now, everybody's heard it. You need to stop rounding. You know, it's going to kill your distance. Okay, but nobody really teaches you how to stop rounding. So here's a couple of things that helped me stop rounding back when I was trying to throw 300 feet. So first thing I did was I completely changed my walk up, right? I used to walk up, I used to have to stand behind the tee pad and have this much room just to walk up and do my whole thing, which I have since progressively moved back a little bit more. When I was first starting to try to throw distance, I completely changed my walk up. I used to start at the middle of the tee pad, sideways like this, lined up with your target, and this allows you to take less steps. You don't want to be running up like James Conrad from the end of the tee pad. Okay, I know you feel fast, but your disc isn't going any faster. Okay, one thing that majorly helped me gain more distance was actually slowing down my walk up, and it helped me focus more on my upper body and not rounding as much. So how does that walk up look? Well, here I am starting at the middle line of the tee pad. You really don't need a whole lot of room. It's like a 3-step walk up. So you start right here. If you're right-handed, you start on the right side of the tee pad. Sometimes I would have to start outside of the tee pad, and that's fine. But you start on the right side of the tee pad, line yourself up. So on your walk up, you want to go from this side of the tee pad, and you want to end up right here with your final step being right here. Now notice how my legs are spread apart. There's a gap in between my legs. You don't want to have your front foot in line with the back foot, because that's going to make you want to reach back more and round. And there's nowhere for me to pull my disc right here. It's just going to hit me. So if I'm here instead, look at my reach back now. It's straight in line with my pull through right here. So if you start like this and you're in line with your back foot, you're not going to have anywhere to go. You're only going to round, and you're going to swing it out that way. So that's not really what you want to do. Here's the simple walk up that you guys can use that will hopefully help you stop rounding. So again, start about middle of the tee pad. You're going to take 1 step, X step, and it's as simple as that. You take the 1 step forward, X step, and then you're on your plant foot right there. That's exactly where you want to be, and I'll show you guys what that looks like right quick. Oh, goodness. Don't mind me tripping over the stake there, right there, but you guys saw that went plenty far, and I did not have to do a James Conrad run up. It really just allows you to focus on not rounding, obviously, and getting that nose down. So yeah, slow down your walk up is going to be one of the biggest things I can think of to help you stop rounding. Now, of course, I since have added a couple of steps to my walk up, so I go about here, but then if you look, this is basically where my first step happens in that 3-step walk up, is right there. So really all I'm doing is just taking 1 extra step, maybe a couple steps here like this, and then I'm ready to shoot. So you can add a couple steps to it, but I would start out, you can throw plenty far just doing a simple walk up just like this. Of course, that was a little nose up, but that still went every bit of 300 feet. So for my next tip, I'm going to talk about disc selection. Now, you guys have probably heard people tell you, oh, you should only throw mid-ranges and putters, right? Well, that's great. It will help you hit lines. It'll help you with angle control, all the good stuff. But one thing it won't really help you with is distance. Now, yeah, you can absolutely throw putters and mids over 300 feet, but you're gonna have to give them height. You're gonna have to play around with the stabilities. It's gonna take a lot more effort to throw a mid-range or putter over 300 feet, right? I'm not saying it can't be done. Obviously, it can be done. But you can also get there just as easily with just fairway drivers. Now, I do have a couple drivers here as well, but I'll show you guys. I've got a 7-speed right here, Flippy 7-speed, the Nuance. I also have an H7, which I think is a great beginner distance driver, especially those that are trying to push past 300 feet. I highly recommend getting a Prodigy H7. That one's in the 500 plastic, no flashing, very smooth. Now, if you really want to, you can step up to a 10-speed. This here is the Innova Gorgon. Again, a great disc, 10.5, -2.1, I believe are the numbers. So it's somewhat flippy, but it will come back. I mean, I'm even throwing it into a slight headwind here, and it still is fighting back for me. Now, if you're really adamant about throwing distance drivers, you totally can. And these are the distance drivers that I started with, and these got me to 400 feet. Right here, I have an Innova Destroyer. This is a 163-gram Destroyer. Now, when I first got this disc, it was pretty overstable. I couldn't hardly throw it. So what did I do? I beat it up. I threw it on the concrete. I threw it on against trees and just beat the heck out of this disc, like as much as I could, until it flew like how I wanted it to fly. And I'll say something, beating in an overstable disc to become a flippy disc is probably better than just buying a flippy disc off the shelf. Now, reason being is that overstable disc that you beat in to be flippy is always going to have some integrity to it. This 163-gram Destroyer still comes back. I have since stopped throwing this disc as much, but I'm thinking about putting it back in the bag because I'm watching some of my older videos back, and I just know how much I used to love this disc and how well I used to throw it. So I'm thinking about putting it back in my bag as my flippy driver slot. But the thing about it being a flippy driver is I know that it's still going to come back because it's still a Destroyer. Now, this one here is a 168-gram Hades. So Hades is already a flippy disc. This one's a little lighter weight. But for some reason, this one, I guess it's maybe because the prototype or whatever, a Hades still has some stability to it as well, especially those who can't throw 300 feet, or if you're trying to get to 300 feet. A Hades is going to be plenty of stability for you guys. So we're going to reminisce on some good times here. I'm just going to throw these discs out there for you. I haven't thrown these discs in months, but we're going to also throw the fairway drivers and that Gorgon and just see, you know, I really don't think I'm going to be pushing these much further than those discs there, but we'll just see what happens. Here we go, old friends. There's that Hades. Nice flip up and turn. Yeah, I mean, that went probably 350, somewhere around there. I'm really excited to throw this Destroyer again. Hold on, guys. I brought this out here because I knew I was going to want to throw this today, and I'm pretty excited to try it out again. Put that out there kind of flat, and it's turning in the headwind and started to kind of bite back. You know, there is a little bit more wind than there was on that last throw with the Hades, and I didn't put it on as much hyzer as I did the Hades, but as you guys saw, it didn't burn over. I wasn't scared of it. Absolutely getting wrecked by this headwind. So it still has some stability to it. All right, we're gonna throw the Gorgon and these fairway drivers out there and see if they can go just as far. Because I bet you that maybe those distance drivers may have went 10, 20 feet further. But again, that Destroyer has had a lot of work done to it. That Hades is also quite beat in. This one right here is a brand new Gorgon. And these here, this Nuance is quite new as well. So we'll just show you guys what you can do with discs right off the shelf. Just throwing some fairways. Look at that. Flip up to flat, no turn out of it. But I'm telling you, that might even be further than my Destroyer and my Hades throw right there, even though I didn't even get any turn out of that. And we're into a headwind, throwing the Gorgon. I don't need any disc more stable than that if I'm trying to throw for distance. If you're trying to throw for distance, throwing a nuke or a brand new Halo Destroyer or a Halo Boss, you're not doing yourself any favors. All right, now I know you see Calvin Heimberg and all these huge arms throwing those discs, but that's because they're throwing 500, 600 feet, whereas we're throwing 250 to 350, right? So those discs aren't necessary. Okay, so anyway, moving on, we're gonna go to this H7 and show you guys what it can do. Now this one here, I'm gonna put on a little hyzer because I think it's flippier. Yeah, definitely flippier. But if you're somebody who doesn't have great power with great responsibility yet, no, I'm just kidding. But if you're somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of power yet, that could be a really great distance driver for you, especially for some tailwind shots. If you do throw a little hard, it's great for some tailwind shots too. So we're gonna throw this Nuance now, see what it does. Look at that. Flip up to flat, slight turn. That thing is just going, man. I mean, that actually, I was gonna say that might be a little shorter than the Hades and the Destroyer, but those are probably right out there. Let's go check them out. All right, so we're out here at about 320-ish feet, somewhere around there. Here's the Innova Gorgon. And now, I don't know if you can see it, but directly in line with the Innova Gorgon is my beat-in Destroyer, which is pretty much my furthest flying disc. And then just past the Destroyer, we have the Paul McBeth Hades prototype. I did get a really good pull on the prototype Hades. And just behind the Destroyer here, we have the Thought Space Nuance. Just like I said, it's about 10 feet behind it, 10, 15 feet behind it. So that just goes to show you, you can get the same distance out of fairway drivers as you can distance drivers. So there's no reason to be throwing super high speed discs. All right, the next tip I have for you guys is to throw purple discs. I'm just kidding. So the next tip I've got for you guys for real is gonna be to practice every day, all right? So when I first started this channel, one of the first things I did was start throwing every day. I went out and I made a short video every single day. I would throw at least 5, maybe 10 shots every single day, and I would record myself, which I did. Was one of my tips in my four tips to 400 feet video, was to record yourself, watch back what you're doing, right? You can really slow it down and kind of see what you're doing, and watch some other pros and stuff like that, and see what they're doing and see what you need to be doing differently. So something like that will work. But honestly, just coming out here and throwing discs every day, measure the throws, getting those reps in, especially if you are filming yourself, you'll be able to go back and look and see what you're doing wrong and try to fix it the next day. So that's what I did. That helped me a lot. Getting to 300, getting to 350, and even 400 feet, was just doing it every single day. Now, when I started my daily distance drive to 300 feet, it took me about a week, I think less than a week, to be able to go from 250, 275 to actually throwing 300 feet, and then getting pretty consistent at throwing 300 feet. So a couple weeks after that, I was like, well, let me go ahead and start trying to throw to 350. Since I got the goal so fast, I might as well just move on to the next goal at 350. And I think I got that one within about a week as well. I'd never been able to even throw 300 feet. And within 2 weeks of me throwing every single day, I got to 350. So it can be done. And now it did take me almost a month to be able to throw from 350 to 400. But again, I was going out every single day and practicing and watching my throws and tweaking small things here, small things there. So I think that's one of the biggest tips I can give you guys, is just go throw every day. Record your throws, record how far they go, and compare that to the day before. You should notice some growth if you do that, and put in these other tips that I give you guys. Now, I do plan on making more tips and tricks videos for you guys, because my first one did so well, and I really appreciate you guys for watching that video all the way through, and hopefully you guys watch this one all the way through as well. We're gonna throw just a couple shots out there for you guys. I don't know which stake is supposed to be the basket, but we're gonna assume it's that one, but hopefully we reach far past that anyways. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I hope you guys gained something from these tips. Let me know down in the comments if any of them helped you. We're gonna throw a couple shots down there just to end out the video. So yeah, well past where I think the basket's supposed to go. So that's good. Oh, that one's good. Don't hit it. Oh, wow. That's a good shot right there. I'm definitely going to be considering putting that Hades and this Destroyer back in the bag, because Honestly, I don't know why I ever took them out. I don't know why I didn't talk about this disc when I was going over my lightweight disc selection. This is a lightweight Fission Wave, another great disc option. I would definitely recommend getting it in the Fission plastic if you're gonna buy a Wave, because the other Waves are not built like this one. This one's a flippy boy. Look at that flip. See, and that might be too much flip for me, which is why I think I might take that disc out of the bag and throw back in that Hades, which I can throw out on hyzer and it won't flip and burn over like that. That one definitely burned over too much. We're kind of just like analyzing stuff now here. So I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video. I'd say that went just as far, if not farther, than my full walk up, which is still kind of in development anyway. I don't know what this video has turned into. We're just throwing discs out here now. I brought a bunch of distance drivers that I like to throw, and I'm kind of just seeing how far they go. I feel like I've lost some distance, so I'm trying to figure out if I need to go back to the old discs that I used to throw that I know I can hit the distance with, or if it's just me not throwing very good anymore. So we're trying to figure some things out here. There's the MVP Trail, which I'm really liking. All these discs are having a really similar flight right now. Maybe it's because we have a little bit of headwind, but I'm getting a pretty similar like turn, trying to fight out flight out of all these throws. So, oh, that was a pretty good pull from the Grace there. Oh, double bonk on the tree. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Thank you guys for sticking till the end. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.